So welcome to our therapeutic class, our chair class this morning. And our theme this week is around our thoughts and really just being aware of our thoughts and sort of where they lead us and is that where we want to go? Right? Because yoga tells us right off the bat, right in the very second sutra of 195 sutras, that the definition of yoga, there's many definitions of yoga, but the definition that comes to us from the Yoga Sutras is that yoga is the ability to direct the mind in one place without distraction. Right? So we all know monkey mind, right? The mind that jumps around from thought to thought, and how disturbing that can be, especially when we're trying to sleep at night. And so it's not that we turn off the mind like a light switch, that we just sort of turn the mind off and then boom, we go to sleep. Um, Sometimes we need to take medications to turn the mind off, but ideally we can start to direct the mind into a place that is useful for us, right? So the old wisdom from when I was a kid was count sheep, right? And it's not that sheep are particularly sleepy, but sheep counting anything will direct your mind somewhere else, away from those swirling thoughts. So it's not always that we need to have a particular positive thought and, it's all rainbows and sunshine, but that we decide when our brains take over and when we're in control, right? When we're in the driver's seat. So often we're passengers in the car or vehicle of our mind, and we're being dragged along maybe against our will sometimes. So how can we direct our thoughts back to what's helpful for us? And we're going to practice that today. So we're going to use the breath as a focus. And if you find that focusing on your breath is not comfortable, so if you have trouble breathing, you may find that focusing on your breath creates anxiety or tension, then you'll just focus on, say, the sounds that you can hear around you or maybe sensations in your body. So the idea is we've got something in the present moment to come back to help us to stay focused, right? So that the mind isn't just taking us wherever it wants to go, that we have some control. And the other piece of that is that emotions may arise, and it's not about pushing emotion down or pushing thoughts down, but redirecting and being aware and paying attention. So I'd like to start today with the butterfly hug that we used last week, and this idea of just coming into our bodies. So the one interesting thing about emotions is that they always, 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 always have a physical manifestation in the body. Sometimes it's too subtle for us to really feel it, but there's always some physical sensation in the body. Right? So bringing the body, mind together so that we're more integrated means paying attention to those more subtle sensations that come with our emotions. So I'm going to start by tuning in around the heart. You can take your hands, cross them, thumbs coming together. And then you want to make sure you're not on your collarbones. You bring your hands just below your collarbones with the heels of your hands resting somewhere in the center of your chest. You can close your eyes if you like. Take a moment to tune into your breath. So just feel any movement under your hands or wherever you might feel it in your body. And then to come into that rhythm, the bilateral tapping that helps to bring some ease into the nervous system. You can take one hand and the other and just lightly tapping the sides of your chest. And I really encourage you to tune into the subtle sensations, the reverberations of this rhythm. And this is just a way of calming things down so we can get into our practice today. Sort of a transition. Let the breath just come and go. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then you can allow the hands to come to stillness. Pause for a moment, notice what's present. And if your mind is a super busy place today, just notice that. Don't try to change anything. So the more we try to stop our thoughts, the more they invade. Right? So it's really about making friends with and redirecting to where we want to go. Right. And then you can allow the hands to release if you haven't already. Just sit comfortably, and we'll do maybe 5 or 6 breaths with the humming sound. So another way of just bringing us into our bodies, getting a little bit out of our minds into our bodies. And so we'll inhale normally, exhale, you're just humming as you exhale, as long as that's comfortable for you. If not, it can be very, very quiet, or you can just think about humming if you don't feel comfortable actually making sound. But the sound does resonate, create a vibration in the body. So if you feel good with that, you'll inhale. Continuing at your own time. And one more. And then letting that go, just pausing for a moment, tuning in, notice what you feel in your body. I'm right in the sun now. It works. I like to adjust. So we'll take a moment just to tune in and notice. So we did the butterfly hug, the humming breath. So I invite you just to sit quietly now and notice. So notice how your body feels. And as always, we want to pay attention and notice without dwelling on any particular area. So if you notice anywhere that's uncomfortable or painful, absolutely notice that. We don't want to push it away or deny, but we don't want to dwell there either. So anytime you notice something uncomfortable, seek neutral or an area that feels good or comfortable. And then you can go kind of back and forth. What's comfortable, what's not so comfortable. Just take a moment to tune in and notice your body. Creating the intention today to honor your body and whatever arises, not to force your body in any way at all, to really honor what arises for you. And then tune into your breath, your own unique rhythm and flow of your breath. No two breaths are exactly alike, and no two people will breathe in exactly the same way, the same pace, the same volume. So each breath has its own imprint, like a snowflake. So tune into each breath for several breaths here, noticing the inhale, the exhale, the quality of your breath, the pace of your breath. And again, if focusing on your breath isn't comfortable for you, just focus on the sounds you can hear around you as a substitute. A few more breaths. And then again, let's tune into the mind. So noticing the state of your mind. Is your mind busy? And if so, acknowledge that. There's no shame. This is the normal state of our minds, is to be busy. So you're simply noticing without judging, paying attention, checking in. And let's also tune into the emotions. Notice what's present anywhere in your body as emotions. So like we have lots of language that talks about feeling the emotions, like feeling like, I've been punched in the gut, or my heart is broken, or a lump in my throat, all of that. So notice, is anything present for you this morning? And you may not notice anything, that's fine. But starting to get a sense of tuning into your emotional body. So last week, our focus physically was on the area around the hips and lower back kind of area, the legs. And today we're going to focus more on the upper body, the shoulders, the neck, the chest, upper back area. So an area where a lot of us hold tension. So always, always, always listening to your body, not forcing, especially if this is an area of tension for you. So I'm going to stand just because the light is better here, but you're welcome to sit and be seated wherever you are. So we'll lift the shoulders up. You can make your hands into fists. Take a breath in. Exhale and slowly release down. So inhale, squeeze and lift. Exhale, slowly release and let down. Let's do that a few times. Usually we're breathing in and out through the nose if that's comfortable for you. Sometimes if it feels good to release a little more, you can exhale through the mouth. Great, and then let's leave the shoulders down and gently press down. So you're engaging the muscles underneath your shoulders to pull down, reach the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. Great. And then slowly and gently bring your chin down toward your chest, just until you start to feel some stretch, and hold there. Great. Slowly come to the center and turn your head to one side and go until you feel a natural restriction. And not pushing beyond that, not even going to the point where you feel a hard restriction, just a nice light sense of that's enough for now. And then coming back to the other side, turning. And again, pausing there, let both shoulders stay relaxed. Come back to the center. Going back to the first side, instead of turning the head, we'll tilt the head. So just letting the ear release a little bit toward the shoulder. And then back to center and over to the other side. Make sure you're breathing. It's so easy to forget that simple piece, important piece. And then back to the center. And then you're going to turn to the first side again and do a little slow sweep with your chin coming down across the front of your chest. Coming up to the other side and going back. So go side to side like that. And I really encourage you to slow down and notice. So when we really tune into what's present, what's happening in the moment, it starts to direct the attention away from all those monkey thoughts. Right? So it's not like we try to stop the monkey thoughts, we replace them. So notice, how does my neck feel in this centimeter of movement, and then the next, and the next, and the next. Where do I feel more sensation? Where do I feel less? And we'll just go side to side maybe once more. Coming back to the center, chin down toward the front of the chest. We'll slowly lift the head back up to center. Good, let's lift both shoulders now, roll them back, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other, and then draw them down. So we'll do that again, lifting up, gently squeezing back, and drawing the shoulder blades down. Again. You might hear some noises. That's really normal. Creaking, crunching. If it's painful, you want to really limit your movement or alter your movement so that it's comfortable. Okay. And then with the shoulders, a little more open, down and back. So you're drawing the shoulder blades in and back. Chest is a little open. And pause here. And again, we'll take the head down to one side, just tilting the head. Just a nice stretch wherever you happen to feel it. And then if you want a little bit more stretch on this neck without pulling on your head or anything, just take the arm on the side that's being stretched and turn the palm back and try bringing the hand behind your back. See how that maybe changes things for you. It may or may not. So tune in. And then slowly return to center. And then we'll take the head tilting to the other side. Again, tune in. You may not want more stretch here, but if you do, take the hand out to the side, palm facing back, and then bend the elbow. And if possible, bring the hand to the lower back. The elbow moves back as the shoulder moves back. Chin, ear down towards the shoulder, chin slightly in towards your collarbone. So if it's too much having the arm behind you, listen to your body and bring it forward. Right, and then let's slowly bring the head to center and do a few more rotations. So drawing up, back, and down. Feel every little bit of that rotation, every minute detail as much as you can. Let's bring the palms together in front of the chest now. And press the palms to the bases of the fingers, the fingertips, the heels of your hands, so there's no space between. And gently move the heels of your hands toward the ground until you feel some stretch in the forearms, maybe the wrists as well. And then you can try keeping the fingers and the finger bases together and slowly releasing the heels of your hands. So you're giving a little bit of stretch to the fingers. And then releasing, do a few circles with your wrists. Circling one way and then try circling the other way. Great. And then one palm facing the ceiling, you can take your hand and draw the fingers slightly back. And then turning the hand over gently, here very gently, a little pressure on the top of the hand. And then other side, fingertips, fingers up, drawing back on the fingertips. And then going the other way. Great. And then again, palms together, a little pressure, moving the heels of the hands down. And then we'll lift the hands up. So you'll reach up with the breath in and make a big circle as you exhale. You can bring your hands together behind you or just side by side or reach for the chair if you've got one there. And we'll take a breath in and find a little lift in the heart. Maybe an extra breath here. Just really feeling that expansion across the heart. Great. And then releasing the arms, drawing forward all the way around, hands coming together and back to the heart. Again, a little pressure. Feel your forearms and wrists. And then we'll inhale and lift. Exhale, big circle around. Bringing your hands behind you in whatever way suits you for a couple of breaths here. Shoulder blades down, heart lifting. You can even bring a smile to your face, thinking of the sunshine coming down onto your face. And then releasing arms to the sides, coming back out together in front and back to the heart. Okay, let's do that one more time. So big breath in, reaching up. And a big circle, really reach out. Arms coming behind in any way that's comfortable. Lifting the heart, take a couple of breaths here. You're not trying to squeeze the shoulders back, just let them relax back as you open the heart. Right, and then releasing, arms back in front and hands together. Okay, take a breath here and exhale to release. So bring your hands onto your thighs and your knees. And we'll do a little cat-cow movement. So you'll inhale and lift the heart. Exhale and round the back. Inhale, lifting. Exhale and rounding. So carry on at your own pace with your own unique breath rhythm. As you're inhaling, you can lift the chin slightly, but don't let the head fall back. And as you're exhaling, you can bring the chin right in close toward your chest to give a stretch all down the spine. A few more breaths here. Okay, and then let's come back up to sit comfortably. And we'll reach one arm out to the side, and you'll turn to look at your thumb, and then take the hand back as you follow with your gaze, just to a comfortable position, and then follow again with your gaze as you bring the hand across your body, all the way to the opposite shoulder. Chin down, looking towards your hand, and then you'll open, looking at your hand, taking it across your body, out to the side. Going back any amount that feels comfortable, and then coming back across. And we'll do that one more time. So you're following with your gaze. Right, so the more we bring the attention in various ways to what we're doing, the less our mind has a chance to wander. So if we're moving, we're looking, we're not breathing with the movement this time, but we could. Holding the hand to the shoulder, looking down. And then you can take your opposite hand just above the elbow on that side and gently encourage that arm across the body a little bit to open up the space between your shoulder blades. You can breathe into the back of your body. And then releasing the hand on your upper arm, releasing your head back to center and releasing that arm back down. Take a couple of breaths and notice how that shoulder and arm feels maybe compared to the other side. So tuning into physical sensation. And then we'll do the other side. So you're reaching out to the side, looking towards your hand, following your hand. Don't worry about how you're breathing for this one. So I want you to move slowly enough to really stay focused. And if we try to coordinate the breath at that speed, you can be very challenging. So you're opening, breathing normally, watching your hand, and then coming back across. One more time. And this time when the hand comes to the shoulder, you'll pause there, looking down towards your hand, whatever way is comfortable for your neck. So you might be a little more forward, depending on your own neck. You can bring the opposite hand just above your elbow and gently encouraging that arm across the body a little more, and then breathing into that space just behind that shoulder blade. So you can imagine just in behind the shoulder blade of the arm that's across your body, a little balloon like your lung, and you're inflating that balloon and creating some space in that shoulder blade with every breath. Great, now let's bring the head back to center, release the hands, and we'll come back to taking a moment to notice. So notice now that shoulder that we just worked. What are you aware of? What sensations are present? And then let's come back to a nice easy cat-cow. We'll bring the breathing in as well. So inhaling as you arch and exhaling as you round. Continuing at your own pace. Great. And we'll come back to a neutral spine and we'll do one more seated. So taking the arms out to the sides, you can bend your elbows if you like, or if you want a little more stretch, take your arms wide, spread your fingers wide, shoulders relaxed. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, crossing your arms across your chest, hands to opposite shoulders, head down, rounding the upper back. As you inhale, chest opens, arms open, a little lift in the face, but not dropping the head back, and then exhale, cross the other way, head down, back, rounding. So follow your own breath. I realize I'm probably talking too much, too slowly for you to follow your breath, so follow at your own pace now, a few more times, alternating which arm is on top each time. And then next time you're open, just take a moment to really reach out. If it's comfortable, you can reach the arms up a little higher, chest lifting. Take a couple of breaths here. Imagine the sun on your face. And then slowly let the arms release down to your sides. Again, we'll pause for a moment. Let your hands just rest on your thighs or your knees, your lap. And notice this area of the upper body, the neck, the shoulders, chest, upper back, this area that we've been working with so far. And notice what's present. There's no right or wrong, ever. The only we'll say wrong is if you're doing something that can hurt yourself, right? that could injure you. So otherwise, it's really tuning into what feels right for your body. And working slowly so you never pass your those points of resistance, by pushing. So when we move slowly, we can really feel where is my end here. So with that in mind, we're going to come to stand. So take your time to come upright. The light is a little bit funny today, and I don't think my camera's quite sure what to do with it. So hopefully you can see me fine enough in the shadows and dark here. So feet a little bit wider apart. So we've been sitting for a while, so let's bring a little movement into the hips to release after sitting. So soft knees. You can bring your hands to your hips and do a few slow circles with your hips. And again, I really encourage you, this is so key to bringing the mind into a more calm place, is to really tune in and notice what you feel in each moment. You can even notice the stories you tell yourself about what you feel. So you're going one direction, going the other direction. Wonderful, and then come back to the center. Let's bring the feet in a little bit closer. You can release your hands. And I'm just going to bend and straighten my knees. You can join me. And even though it doesn't seem like much, there's a little flexion at the hips, there's flexion at the knees, there's flexion at the ankles. So all three joints of the lower body, just getting a little bit of movement here. And then let's come back to the center, and we'll take the feet again a little bit wider, sort of shoulder distance or slightly further apart. Again, soft knees. So there's always this tendency, and I notice it myself, to lock the knees and sort of let the pelvis rest forward. And it feels easy and comfortable, but it really compresses the lower back. So if we can keep the knees soft, that puts the pelvis into a more neutral position, which in turn puts the lower back into a nice neutral position. So with that, we'll lift one arm up and reach down to the opposite side. And come back to center, switching arms, and then over to the other side. And so center and over to the side. Center and over. So you can inhale if you like as you lift and switch arms. Exhale as you go to each side. Do a couple more at your own pace. And then coming back to the center. You can release both arms down. And we'll take both arms up with the breath in. You'll bend your knees even a little bit more. Bring your hands or your forearms onto your thighs. Let your head release a little. And then inhale and lift. So a nice easy forward bend. Exhale. Nice long spine. So you want to bend your knees and either bring your hands or your forearms onto your thighs. Working a little bit with the legs as well. Great, this time staying upright, and we'll release the arms down to the sides. Okay, for the next one, you may or may not find it useful to use a chair. It's more than possible to do without a chair, so it's up to you. We'll be doing another side bend. So in this one, and I seem to have a little friend on my mat. Excuse me, up you get. Up you get, where you go? There you go, there you go. Oh, good girl. So this way you'll be able to see my feet a little more. So feet a little wider. One foot turns to the side. The other foot can be on whatever angle is comfortable. For me, it's slightly turned in the same direction. And then you're going to bend your front knee until it's just over your ankle. Great, arms to the sides. I really feel like the lighting is terrible today. I'm sorry, guys. I'll try and solve that. I'm not sure what's going on. You're going to reach over to the side, bring your hand down onto your thigh, or if it's available, onto your forearm. And then the other option with a chair would be to have the chair just in front of you, hand resting on the chair. And then the other arm can reach up or come behind your back with the palm facing way behind you. Okay. And then we'll work on doing some circles with this upper arm. So you'll bring the arm down by your hip, down in front of your body, up over your head. And here you might want to bend your elbow as it comes over, just to give your shoulder a little more space, and come around. Make sure you're breathing. There's no particular way to breathe here. So we want to go slowly enough to really tune into what's happening in the body. And we don't want to have to strain the breath in any way. Great. As you're going through a circle, next time the arm is lifting, let that momentum lift you back up. And then you'll release the arms down. You can bring the feet back together. Good. Yeah, I think what's happening is the camera is seeing the light where it's hitting me and adjusting for that. So it's not a good light day, even though the sunshine is beautiful. We'll try the other side. So taking the legs apart again. Whichever foot was not turned out before, you'll turn that foot out to the side, bending the knee. And the back foot, again, whatever angle is comfortable for you. The main thing is you want to make sure that your knee that's bent is pointing in the same direction as your toes. So it's not kind of falling in. If I show you from the side, you want to be straight out, not twisting the knee in. Okay. So just look down, knee pointing in the same direction as your toes, arms to the sides. You can reach a little towards that bent knee and then bring the hand or the forearm down. The other arm either lifts up or it can rest on the small of your back, palm facing out. And then again, we'll do a few circles. So starting up, bringing the hand toward the hip. You can turn the shoulders as you reach down and around to come all the way up. Again, bending your elbow as you go around if that's helpful. Right, so a few circles here. Make sure you're breathing. Again, it doesn't matter exactly how. You want to make sure that you are breathing. Next time you're going through a circle, as you're coming up, you're going to let that momentum lift you. Arms to the sides, and straighten the front leg. Bring your feet parallel and step your feet together. Just give a little shake. And then we'll do a forward bend just to bring some alignment, equilibrium back to the spine. So feet can be about hip distance apart, always soft knees. We'll inhale and lift up. And then exhale, hands can come to the thighs or elbows to the thighs or reach toward the ground. And again, inhale and lift. So follow your own breath rhythm. You'll come up with the breath in. You'll lower with an exhale. It doesn't matter if you raise your hands, arms from the sides or arms from the front, whatever feels right for you. Good. If you enjoy the forward bend and want to stay for a few breaths, you can stay either with your hands or elbows on your thighs, or you can cross and hold your arms as you kind of dangle forward, or let the arms release. So take a moment, whatever version of the forward bend, if you like. If not, you just come back upright anytime or keep moving dynamically. Okay. And then whenever you're ready, you'll come up with the breath in. And then slowly release to come back to mountain pose. Great. As you get there, pause for a moment. And again, let's tune in and check in. So we've been doing these little mini check-ins along the way. Notice what's present for you now. So notice briefly body, breath, mind, and emotions. And whatever may be present, whatever might sort of light up for you as you tune in, just notice that. If you feel like you're losing your balance with your eyes closed standing, please keep them open. So we'll make our way down to the mat. So you can take your time. See if the light will cooperate for me. It's certainly nice to be in a sunbeam. So as you come to lie down, take your time. So we're all going to take a little bit different amount of time to get settled here. So if you're already settled, you can bring your hands onto your body and tune into your breath. So as always, again, if you're tuning into your breath and that creates any anxiety for you or is challenging for you, just forget about the breath and tune into the sounds around you. So both are really, the main point is to bring our attention into the present moment. So it doesn't really matter what you use. The breath is just handy because it's always with us. So take a minute or so here just to settle, to tune in, to be present. So now letting the arms come down alongside your body. And we'll lift them straight up toward the ceiling. So you've got some space between your hands. So the hands are about the same distance apart as your shoulders. So the arms are parallel to one another. And you're going to lift the fingertips up toward the ceiling so you feel your shoulder blades move apart a little bit and lift. You may or may not feel that. And then let your shoulders sink down, and you probably feel the shoulder blades anchor to the ground a little bit more. And then reach up and lower down. If you like, you can coordinate your breath here. Inhale into the space between your shoulder blades as you lift the arms. And then exhale as you let the shoulder blades sink down. One more. And tuning into that space and that little subtle movement. And then next time your shoulder blades rest on the ground, you can bend your elbows to bring your hands to opposite elbows. So you've got a little square shape over your chest with your arms. And then very slowly move your head and your elbows in one direction. And again, you're moving slowly so you don't go too far and create any tension in your body. Come back to center and slowly go the other way. So just moving until you feel some either gentle restriction or whatever tells you that's far enough without going too far. So it's always a little bit of a fine line, and that line changes, right? As we warm up, we may find we can go further, or we may find, oh, we've gone too far, the body starts to tense up. So you really tune in each time you move to where it feels good to stop and where it feels good to keep moving. Okay. And then let's come back to the center. I'm going to spread the arms out to the sides wide now. And then I invite you to kind of make a snow angel from sort of a little lower. You're going to slowly raise the arms up. Hopefully you've got enough space. And then slowly down again. And so we're just really trying to tune in as we come to the top of that movement. Where does it feel good, like a good stretch? And next time your arms come open, tune into where that place is, or it feels like a good stretch, and pause there. So elbows might be bent. You want to make sure elbows and hands are on the ground. So you're not lifting up so much that there's any tension or pain. You're just finding a nice, comfortable position, and we'll stay here for a few breaths. And the idea here is relax your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your arms. And see if you can feel the breath moving all across the chest and shoulders. Softening with your exhale, making space with your inhale. And then let's slowly slide the arms down to the sides. You bring your palms down to the floor beside your hips or wherever they land. Bring your feet in so they're under your knees, and we're preparing for bridge pose. So we have a few options with bridge. You can lift and lower dynamically and just stay dynamically, or you can lift and lower dynamically a few times and then stay in the upright position. So we'll start with a nice easy breath here. And on your exhale, put a little pressure into your feet, getting ready to lift. And then with your next inhale, start to lift the hips up off the ground. And press gently down with your arms. And then slowly lower as you exhale. If you want to move more slowly than your breath allows, just follow the rhythm of your body and let your breath be natural. So we're lifting and lowering, maybe coordinating the breath, maybe not. So again, you can keep moving dynamically if that feels good for you. If you feel at any time like you've had enough, you'll just come to rest on your back. And if you want to stay in the pose, you'll lift up and stay. And if you want a little bit more opening in the front of the body across the chest now, you can rock your weight to one side and draw the other shoulder in under you a little bit more. Palm will turn up. Rock to the other side, turn the shoulder under, that palm turns up. So now both hands are facing the ceiling. The shoulder blades are drawn in towards you. Really tune in. If this isn't comfortable, come right down. And if you're comfortable here and you want a little more, you can try bending your elbows. Hands face each other over your abdomen. Press down with your elbows. Relax your neck, face, jaw, shoulders, and take a few breaths here. So remember, your body is your guide. If you need to come out or you didn't even go into the pose, great, listen. When you're ready to come out, if you've bent your arms, just straighten them. If you've tucked your shoulders in, you'll wiggle them apart. And then slowly release your hips down to the ground. And once you get there, invite your knees in towards your body, one hand to each knee. And you can draw the knees away from you and towards you now. So giving the back a nice release and massage after that little bit of a back bend. If you want to coordinate your breathing, your inhale as the knees go away. Exhale as the knees draw in. Notice every sensation as you move. Really tune in. Give your mind some good food. Right? When we direct the mind to the moment, it's like we're eating fruits and vegetables and really food that's nourishing for us. And when we indulge in that kind of obsessive thinking, that we feel like it's not a choice, right? Because it seems like our minds take over, but it's a matter of training. When we allow those monkey minds to take over, it's like we're eating candy. You can hug your knees and rock side to side. Right? Candy it feels really good when we're eating it, but afterwards we feel kind of eh. So can we find the discipline for our minds the way we do for our bodies? They're so interconnected. Right? A change in one affects the other, and vice versa. And if there's any other movement that your body would like to do now before we come to rest for a few minutes in Shavasana, take your time. So you may want to stretch or just get comfortable. So whatever feels good, you can find a nice lying down position that's comfortable for you, or if you're worried that you might fall asleep and you feel more alert and awake, you can instead come to sit. So finding the position that is best for you, I'm going to sit a little closer again, just to play with the lighting bit. When you get comfortable, make sure you're warming up. And all those little minor adjustments that really help to allow you to sink into the ground, to really settle and relax. Take your time. And as you come to settle, again, if the breath is a comfortable focus for you, come back to your breath. Let the breath come and go. Feel where your body makes contact with the ground, and as you exhale, allow all those parts that are on the ground to melt and to soften and to drop in. Your mind might wander away. Whenever you notice that your mind has wandered, invite it back to the breath or whatever you're using to stay focused or to bring focus back to your mind. So again, it could be sounds, it could be sensations, it could be breath. Letting your focus be light and joyful. When you find that your mind has wandered, rather than treating it with disdain or hard discipline, punishment even, just invite the mind back the way you would if you were training a puppy, with love, with care, with compassion and patience. Our minds have been trained and are brainwashed constantly by advertising and for others who want our attention, whether it's the internet or people in our lives. And can we start to very slowly train our mind to come back under our control, under our desires? So every time your mind wanders, with so much kindness, patience, care, and compassion, invite it back. And with each exhale, feel a sense of softening into the earth. Letting go through the jaw, the face, the neck and shoulders. Softening the arms and the hands. Relaxing the whole torso, the chest, the upper back, the abdomen, the lower back. Sinking down through the pelvis and relaxing all the muscles around your hips, buttocks, into the thighs. Knees, calves, ankles, all softening. And as you rest, I'll share with you a chant. Again, it's an excerpt from a much longer chant. And the subject of this chant is purification, and specifically of the mind. So its aim is to bring the mind into a pure place of mindfulness, eradicating the hopping and jumping and skipping of the monkey mind. Om Pavamana Suvarjanaha Pavitrena Vicharshani Yah Pota Sapunatuma Punantuma Deva Janaha Punantuma Bodhiya Punantu Vishva Ayavaha Jata Veda Pavitravata Pavitrena Punahima Avamanya Punantuma Prajapatyam Pavitram Om Shanti 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 Om. Notice where your thoughts are now. Guide them back to the moment for your last few breaths here before we start to add in a little movement. So maybe again focusing on the breath, sounds, or sensations. And then gradually add some movement as you're ready. So deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Move and stretch just in any way that would feel good. And if you're lying down and you're ready to come back to a seated position, you can roll over onto your side, pause there for a moment, take your time. And whenever you're ready, just making your way back upright. Or not. The beauty of being at home is you can just stay where you are and really enjoy a little more time in Shavasana if that's what's right for you. You can bring your palms together wherever you are. And as always, I really encourage you to take this theme into your life. So it's not about beating ourselves up when we have a monkey mind or we can't sleep or whatever it is. It's really redirecting. Find something simple, neutral, or positive to focus on. Like neutral is the breath, the sounds around you, right? Positive might be an affirmation that you use to bring your attention back. But whatever it is, slowly starting to train the mind. And it may be frustrating at first because everything in our culture is really conspired to pull our attention away from the moment, right? So be gentle with yourself, be kind, be compassionate, be patient, right? But the rewards of having a mind that you have control over are incredible. Namaste.